What's up, guys? It is I, once again, Yusuf Al-Sanad, and today, guys, I want to review Stanley Kubrick's 1960 action-adventure historical epic, Spartacus. And guys, this movie stars Kirk Douglas, Laurence Olivier, Gene Simmons, Peter Ustinov, Charles Lawton, John Gavin, and Tony Curtis. And guys, this movie right here is one of many films that follows the same basic storyline of the hero or heroine who comes from nothing, the lowest point of his or her existence, to making a name for themselves, rising up, fighting for freedom, and achieving greatness and the respect and loyalty through sheer determination, will, courage. And this movie, guys, it's one of those films like Braveheart, Gladiator, and so many other films of this sort that it's about this hero who rises from nothing and achieves freedom and respect. And my favorite of these type of films is Braveheart, because when you have characters like Maximus Decimus Meridius from Gladiator or Spartacus from Spartacus, they are great and all, but my favorite would have to be William Wallace in Braveheart. I just love this character so much. But in the case of Spartacus, it's a story about this man named Spartacus, and the film takes place in the last century before the death of Jesus Christ and the birth of Christianity, and how Spartacus is born and sold into slavery, and how he's been a slave most of his life, and he is one day bought by this slave trader played by Peter Ustinov. His character is Bartitus, I think that's his name, Bartitus, and he purchases Spartacus and trains him in this gladiator arena where he is to fight as a gladiator. So Spartacus is trained to fight in the arts of combat, and is forced to kill people against his will. And while he's at this arena, he meets a young lady played by Gene Simmons. Her name is Varinia, and Varinia is also a girl who's been taken against her will when she was very young and is forced into prostitution. And Varinia is a character who sees something in Spartacus, because a lot of the times in her life she was used as an object of sex, and Spartacus is the first man that ever sees her as a person and not some animal, similar to how she sees him as a kind-hearted soul and not just some brute. And these two start a very intimate, a very emotional bond, and they really like each other. So when Varinia is purchased by Crassus, who is this Roman general who's played by Laurence Olivier, Spartacus goes out of his way to take down every guard in the arena, along with the help of his fellow inmates, and he rescues Varinia, who escapes from the slave trader who was supposed to deliver her to Crassus. And from then, Spartacus, along with Varinia and his fellow inmates who have now escaped, they form their own group, and they start to make their names known. And the name Spartacus spreads throughout the Roman Empire, and many people decide to join him because they too wish to fight for their freedom. They fight for their freedom, and they fight to gain back their land, which the Roman Empire took from them. And Spartacus, being their leader, trains them how to fight and to defend themselves so they may earn their freedom. And his group starts to grow and grow until finally they form an army, and that's when the battle between Spartacus and Crassus and the whole Roman Empire begins. And guys, this movie is a true epic. I mean, this film right here was directed by Stanley Kubrick, but it is not your traditional Stanley Kubrick film like, say, Doctor Strangelove, 2001: A Space Odyssey, A Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, or Full Metal Jacket, or Eyes Wide Shut. No, because Kirk Douglas was the executive producer of the film, he told Kubrick that he can't do what he thinks is right for the film. He has to do exactly what he tells him to, and there's a lot of conflict between Kubrick and Kirk Douglas. And Kubrick obviously had no creative control, so he had to basically listen to what Kirk Douglas said, even though he didn't like it. And I kind of like the idea that Kirk Douglas managed to restrain Kubrick, because had this movie been directed entirely by Kubrick and he had full creative control, it would not have been the same fun, action-packed, romantic film that we have right here. And I love the performances by Kirk Douglas as Spartacus. He is outstanding, and he really embodies this character who is a hero to many, and how he inspires so many people, and he finds love in this young lady, Varinia. And Varinia is a very strong, independent, very sweet woman who's played so well by Gene Simmons. I really like her relationship with Spartacus, and how these two are they're just so cute together, you know, especially in their private moments. And I also love Peter Ustinov as the slave trader. I just can't say his name because these names are just hard to pronounce. And I also like Tony Curtis and Charles Lawton as Gracchus and Antoninus, and those guys are entertaining to watch. And Laurence Olivier, he plays a really good villain. Guys, this character that Laurence Olivier plays, he is just so sleazy and slimy, and he's very conniving, and yet Olivier, he kills it, and I really like his character a lot. Now, this movie has a lot of things: action, adventure, romance, and so many things that really depicts what an epic film should be. And this movie is not 100% historically accurate to the real story of Spartacus. Spartacus is a classic film among classic. It's one of those films I can rewatch again and again, despite the 3-hour run time. And I really love this movie for all the reasons I mentioned. And this movie was surprisingly fast-paced for a 3-hour film. And the best scene by far is when Spartacus and his army are defeated, and Crassus, Olivier's character, is asking which one of them is Spartacus. And right before Spartacus was about to turn himself in, each one of his men go like, "I'm Spartacus! No, I'm Spartacus! No, I'm Spartacus!" Guys, that scene was so hilarious, but also very inspiring. I just love moments like those. It's just so much fun to watch this film, and that scene was just a gem to watch. It really was one of many great moments in the film that I really love. And this movie overall is great. It's fun, it's action-packed, it's very sweet, and the romance between Gene Simmons and Kirk Douglas, and this film has a lot to offer people, and I think that this is the kind of film that will connect with you. Even if you don't like, historical dramas or epics, this movie will resonate with you. And the ending, guys, it broke my heart, but it's a bittersweet type ending, and it really shows a sense of hope despite the fact that in real life, if you try to overthrow an empire, it doesn't go your way, but there is still a bit of hope that things can change, and hopefully it will. And Spartacus has inspired many people, and he has brought freedom to Rome and the rest of the Roman Empire. And I really feel like this is the type of story that will affect people in a good way, and that will inspire them to do better. And I love this movie so much, guys. It's just one of the best films I've seen, and by far one of my favorites. This movie is not exactly a Stanley Kubrick film, but it's by far a damn great film, and I love every minute of it. And guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you want to see more from me, then please like, comment, subscribe, and please check out my gaming channel where I do Let's Play series and gaming content, all that kind of good stuff. Until next time, guys, peace out, take care, adios, amigos, au revoir, and sayonara.